in the committee, with your leadership position of being the ranking member, I know you have called attention to the fact that the Department of Defense is in this quadrennial defense review. They are supposedly in the process of fashioning what will be, as they go forward, the Department of Defense policies based upon its threat assessment. What are we facing? What are our needs? And then what are the policies to achieve it? All of these changes that you and I are discussing, cuts in missile defense, cuts in the F-22, all those are being undertaken without any of that process having occurred. So there's no policy basis for it. When we had the generals in front of us talking about missile defense, we asked them, what data point, what information do you have? What can you give us for your determination that you need a lesser number, a lowered amount for these? And they had none. The only thing that they were able to say is that, well, we're not certain that there was a data point for the higher number. Well, that's not necessarily an answer that solves the problem of why would we go to a lower number. And certainly we see that with the F-22.
Yeah. Now, fortunately, we had a good leader, Rob Bishop, who led a fight in our committee, and we won, putting money aside to continue the production of the F-22. And I think that's very important for our defense. But right now, when we're in this economic situation that we're in, jobs are also very important. So we had a twofer. We were able to keep the production line open, which kept 90,000 jobs. And we were able to keep the plane going, so we keep our economic base, and we keep the defense that we apparently needed a few years ago that we haven't seen the real reason that we don't need. So it passed 32 to 31 in our committee, and then carried on the floor. It passed in our bill. And the Senate apparently passed it out of their committee, but it lost on the floor. Now our appropriators have also followed our direction and have put the money in the bill for the continued production of the F-22. So we'll have to fight that out in conference, and I don't know exactly where that's going to show yet. But the President has said he will veto the bill if the continued production of F-22 is in there. So that will be a fight, I guess, we'll have with the administration as we go through conference.
Well, a point you've made from your position in education and workforce, where you've been ranking in leadership there, is that with all of these programs, and the moment that you shut them down, you lose that intellectual capital. You lose the workforce.
Yeah.
So even if you decide later that you want to go back and add planes or add capabilities, or even if you want to stretch to the next generation, you've lost that intellectual capital when you just go cold and disband the people that are there.
And it's even worse than that, because when they finished the production on the B-2, they made us cut up the dies to make sure that we could never build them again. And they want to do the same thing with the F-22. So even if you could, after you've lost the labor force, if you could by some miracle or something get them to come back, they'd have to start from scratch all over, build all the dies, and start up the whole production line again. It really doesn't make sense, especially given the fact that they haven't even told us why, other than we don't have the money. I think maybe there are some other areas we should be looking at rather than the defense of our nation at this critical time.
Yeah, especially since there's been unlimited spending in Washington over the past 6 months for everything else but for defense.
Yeah. They said it would be for jobs. We haven't seen the jobs. In fact, we've actually lost almost 2 million jobs since that supplemental or that so-called stimulus bill was passed. Let me just take a minute and run this by you. I had the opportunity yesterday to go down to Guantanamo. That's something I had not had the opportunity to do before. And it was amazing to me. We all saw the bad things, the pictures of some of the bad things that happened years ago in Guantanamo. But I want to let the people at home know that what I saw yesterday, and we had Republicans and Democrats both on this trip, all of those things are in the past. All of those things have been corrected. I was visiting with a constituent at home not too long ago, and he said that he had been down there in the medical corps, and he said, it took us a while to get it right, but we've got it right now. And a lot of money has been spent down there, a lot of investment, and on 45 acres we have all these detainees that have been kept there. They're all some pretty bad people from around the world, including people that planned and contributed a lot to 9/11. And we've also built a courthouse in there to try these people. And we've invested millions of dollars. And now the president has said that by the end of this year, we're going to shut that down, which means, I guess, moving those detainees somewhere else. And I don't know where that is. I hope they don't plan any in my district. I'm sure.
Or mine.
You don't want them in your district. And then rebuilding that courthouse, moving all of that. The lead prosecutor told us that they're well along in 3 of the trials that they're carrying out, and they've had 2 delays because of what's come out of the administration, and he said it wouldn't surprise him that when they go back in to ask for a 3rd delay, that the judge throws it out, which means they would have to start all over again. Okay. As an attorney, you know what that could mean to a prosecution. You've had a chance to be down there. What was your opinion?
Yeah, when you and I were talking about this before, and you've come back with your message of what they're accomplishing there, I think one point that you've made that's very important is the expertise is there. When you look at both the manner in which they're being held, the manner in which the legal practices that are there, the medical attention and issues that are there, the processing and handling of just the issues that are there. There's been a great deal of effort to make certain that we have this right, that these are dangerous people, and that we're doing this in a way that does not dishonor our country, but at the same time protects us, and that can provide some processes for justice. To dismantle that now would really make, I think, the whole process more at risk, where we cannot necessarily be certain how they will be handled or how even the justice process will work. I think your point about the courthouse is a real important one, because that's the next step that even this administration, the president has said that he's going to bring them forward through military tribunals. And without having that centralized expertise, we're going to step away from really what's been accomplished.
Well, this is something we're just going to have to be in tune and just watch as we move forward on this, because it's something that has great concern to me. There were some really bad people there. They showed us a picture of one detainee that they had released back, and he had gone back to Iraq and blew himself up and killed 25 people in the process. Any one of these people, if given the opportunity, would kill you or me or our children or anybody else that they know from the West. Well, that's something that we're going to have to watch. Our time is out again. I want to really thank you, Mike, for being here. Mike Rogers from Dayton, Ohio, a stalwart on our Armed Services Committee. Again, if you enjoy this, please watch it and check on our website. Keep in touch. Thank you very much.